So first up, we're going to be talking about Vaghorst, Dutch international, plied his trade in the Bundesliga for Wolfsburg. 6'6" tall, so physicality, a great like-for-like type swap for Chris Wood, who obviously departed for Newcastle. I think that he will do very well in place of him. Good goal scoring record, as you're about to see. But first up, fixtures: Man United home, Liverpool home. Pretty tough fixtures for Burnley, no matter how many doubles they got coming up. But then after that, obviously, turn green. Brighton and Hove Albion away and Crystal Palace away. So good fixtures to test out and see how prolific he could be for Burnley. Let's see. 6.5. Can't really argue with that price. I think that's a very fair price. As you can see, in the 2018-19 season, he has an XG of 15.74. In that season, he actually scored 17 goals and had 7 assists. Now, that is a nice record already. As you can see, we move into 2019-20 season. His XG is 17.84. And the goals he got then was 16 and 3 assists. So slightly less there, but still, it's a good return. It shows consistency. And in FPL, consistency is obviously very key, guys. Then in the 2021 season, he had 20 goals and 8 assists. Now, that is an improvement. So he went up there, played the same amount of games that he'd played in 2018-19 season, and bettered his goal tally by 4 goals. So into the 2022 season for Wolfsburg so far, before his move, 6 goals, 1 assist in 18 games. Not terrible. 8.66 XG. Quite nice stats without Vaghorst. And I think that he could be a great option for our teams going forward. But as I did say earlier, guys, let's just keep an eye on these first 2 tough fixtures and see how Vaghorst gets on. Next up, we've got Bruno Gimaresh, an obviously Brazilian midfielder, but also a defensive midfielder. So probably not necessarily someone that we look to in FPL. So bear that in mind, guys. Obviously, a bit like Fred being a defensive midfielder, or Jorginho. Although, to say those sort of players are starting to get the goals lately, could this guy get goals for Newcastle? Well, we have a look at the fixtures. Everton at home, Aston Villa home. That's a tough one, that Villa game. Obviously, I think Eddie Howe's going to need a little bit of time just to get his squad gelling. A lot of new players coming in there, the likes of Dan Burn. Chris Wood already played a game for Newcastle. So it's about making it gel now and figuring out what's going to work for Eddie Howe. But then they got Gimaresh got West Ham away, Brentford at home, nice fixture there, but really tough testing fixtures for Newcastle and Eddie Howe. As you can see, in the 2018-19 season, Gimaresh had a 0.07 XG, not very high. And then the next season, 2021, 2.54. He got 3 goals and 1 assist in that season. And as I said, he switched between playing a midfielder and a defensive midfielder, I suppose, to suit whatever Leon's opponent was. So expect to see that a lot. Also found out that he can be put onto his left foot a lot, so he doesn't like to be onto his left foot that much. So players will be probably trying to shut him down on that side and not allow him to play. So interesting to see the type of player Newcastle have got. But I think it's quite a good signing for Newcastle. They needed to strengthen in that midfield. Going back to the stats, so finally in that last season, he had 3 assists before joining Newcastle. That was in 20 appearances. So not terrible. He's got a little bit about him. You know, he can get goals, he can get assists, but you're not going to get a lot. And as I discussed, not really that sort of FPL option at the moment, guys. But he's in here. He's a transfer. And who knows? Let's see. Next up, we have Luis Diaz, who Klopp made a late move for. Colombian winger. So we could see him threaten Mane Salah's minutes in that front three if Klopp was to play him there. I know he's a winger. He could play further back. Just depends on formation and what Klopp decides. But definitely a flair player. Liverpool fixtures, as you can see, Leicester at home, Burnley away, Norwich at home, Leeds at home. Liverpool being one of the strongest teams in the Premier League. Those are great fixtures to get on. But maybe with the cup games, we'll keep an eye on him. See if he gets any minutes and get a rough idea where he's going to fit in exactly into this Liverpool side. I think you're going to see the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain frozen out. Naby Keita probably frozen out a bit. It adds more competition there for sure. Minamino will be threatened as well. This guy probably adds real depth to Liverpool's squad with the amount of talent they have in their pool already. Forgive the pun, Liverpool in their talent pool. You get it. Anyway, XG wise, so not in the 18-19 season, got no stats for that. But in the 19-20 season, he got a 5.9 XG. In 29 appearances, he scored 6 goals, got 2 assists. That's an XA of 1.4, XG 5.9. And then the next season, he goes on, increases his assists. In 30 appearances, 1 more appearance than the 19 season. He got 6 goals, 5 assists, so 5.1 XG, XA of 2.4. And then in his most recent season, probably the one that caught Klopp's eye, 17 appearances, 13 goals, an 8.7 XG and 4 assists. That's an XA of 4.1. So this guy adds a lot really. He brings goals, he brings assists, and in an exciting Liverpool team, he could bring a lot of FPL points. But let's see how Klopp integrates him first, as we said. But a good player for sure. Also, we have Dejan Klose, Swedish international from Juventus. Conte, obviously knowing Italian sort of league Serie A players, and has really targeted this guy for a reason, I think. Main one, I would say, is because he can play up front, he can play midfield centre, he can play on the wings, either side. So he's a player that can be moved around. Now for FPL, that can sometimes be gold. He is priced at 6.0, and sometimes that value can be more if moved up front or into midfield. Like, it can be a hidden gem. So again, very interesting to see how Conte lines him up in that Spurs side. How is he going to line him up? Where's he going to be playing mainly? Will he be switched around a lot? Offering more potential for points, possibly in different positions. Quite exciting to see. Southampton at home, Wolves at home, Man City away, tough fixture there for Tottenham, and then Burnley away. Spurs need to get things going more. They've got Son returning from injury. I like the depth that Conte's had. Maybe we will see more of Conte's stamp on this Spurs side now. But Kulusevski, obviously in 2018-19, he played for Atalanta then. It was just a 0.9 XG. No goals, no assists. He only had 3 appearances then. So, not very relevant, right? Then we go on to 2019-20 season. He played for Parma. And he got 10 goals, 8 assists. I'd say some of them were definitely playing up front. But his XG 7.27, XA 8.43. So great stats there in the 19-20 season for Parma. And then he got his move to Juventus, and 35 appearances. His XG is 3.33, 4 goals, 3 assists. So not major numbers, but in a Juventus side, it's quite competitive there. They obviously have a lot of good players. And in the latest season, XG of just 2.58, assists 3, goals 1, 20 appearances. Not the greatest, but I'm sure that Conte does have a plan for this guy. And as we discussed earlier, it could be in any position, guys. So let's just keep an eye on him and see how that goes. Hopefully he's a good one for our teams. Let's see. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video today, and do not forget to kick that like button, kick that subscribe button, and thank you once again for watching. Take care.